slides. We still don't know if we're going to share the recording, but it may be a good idea. So thank you very much for being here. Patrick, whenever you want to start, you are okay.
Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, everyone. Welcome. Have a warm welcome here today. Welcome to all the partners, all the participants, the Commission, to this final event of such a fruitful project that has been benefit all the members, including, obviously, Nextur. It's great to receive today 150 followers of this conference, which we want to take place in Brussels, in presence, but obviously we need to do it in this way. I'm proud to see that once again the capacity of communication and mobilization of Nextur and its members with these partners has proven effective. Let me express my happiness to be present here today in the event as a Nextur president. After close to 2 years of this project of CHARM, with a global pandemic in the middle, we in Nextur, we consider that the project had made a very positive impact in our destinations and in the promotion of rural areas. I'm delighted to see how the partners have collaborated, and I'm also very happy to see the job done in empowering less known and smaller areas, such as the destinations chosen within the project. In fact, here from Nextur, we are aiming to find synergies between our members, and this project has demonstrated that despite the different destinations and their particularities, we could all work together with the same aim of creating charming experiences in our regions. Actually, this is what European cooperation is about, and I consider that we have achieved all our objectives thanks to our unity and willingness to cooperate, and despite all the challenges we faced in this new normality we had to face in the middle of the implementation of our project. Nextur tries to be the link of the regions with European institutions, to advocate the role of our regions and destinations at the European level, and CHARM has been a very special project to continue building our way as destinations, and I wanted to thank the European Commission and especially EASME for all the help and support given through all our projects. Let me express my gratitude to the Catalan Tourist Board as a lead partner. I'm proud of the Catalan Tourist Board team for such an impressive work. Let me express the interest of this conference today ahead. Many speakers and examples, some members and Nextur partners who I salute and thank for sharing your experience in bringing your territories into European projects. For the Catalan Tourist Board, it has been an added value which we have experienced together with other Nextur regions for the past decade, which is translated into a behavioral change in the way we manage tourism by evolving towards sustainability, thanks to the European cooperation, and we are convinced that is the way forward to wish a fruitful discussion today. Thank you very much. Enjoy this session today, this final conference, and see you later. Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick. And now we can go to Alan Vela as the project coordinator. No, not the project coordinator, sorry. The project advisor from the EASME program. Can you speak, Alan? Are you able to?
Yes.
Are we able to
yes.
see you?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, and some people can see you, but we can hear you. That's for sure.
Ah, okay.
It's okay.
So, well, I have a short intervention. First of all, thank you to everybody for being present today here. There is a saying in English which tells us that all good things come to an end. But I prefer seeing this as the beginning and not the end, because I would actually like you participants today, consortium members, the lead partner, to defy this saying. Because I would like you today to showcase the work you have implemented in the past 2 years of European funding. The Guide for Sustainability, for instance, and Good Practices, which has been such a success, a successful initiative. I'm interested also in better understanding how you intend giving continuity to the project. And in this regard, I'd like you to illustrate how the current activities, the ones you are still undertaking in these current days, like the sales kit, the search engine marketing, the promotional videos which you have just concluded, the actual marketing efforts and activities which you are undertaking, all these, how these can facilitate visibility for the CHARM network even beyond the co-financing period, which ends in 2 weeks' time. And last but not least, I would like you to share with us today your own vision of how you intend empowering the European rural destinations, which is the theme of today's conference. In many instances, this project has reminded me of the Eden Network, which was developed at European level. In promoting Europe's hidden treasures that might perhaps not be as well known as their bigger brothers, the European capitals, but which equally have much to offer. And in this regard, the CHARM network indeed has much to offer. In this regard, allow me to thank Blanca and the rest of the team from the Catalan Tourist Board as lead partner, but also all other partners involved in the CHARM network for your collaboration. It has been a pleasure for me to act as your contact point, as your project advisor at European level through EASME. The project has grown with time, facing difficulties and challenges, not the least due to COVID. But together, I think we arrived where we are today, taking the project from strength to strength, allowing the project to grow even further. I sincerely hope that as a consortium, you will continue striving to strengthen the CHARM network now, even after the co-financing period is over, with additional members too, because the hidden treasures are located across Europe, in every part of Europe, in every corner of Europe, not only in the 5 countries forming part of the CHARM network. And that could be a challenge which you could be looking to make CHARM grow even further. Thank you once again for the invitation.
Thank you very much, Alan. So now, in order to make everyone understand way more what's CHARM, we're going to share a video that have been created just a few weeks ago about all the villages. So if you want to allow me to share it, please enjoy.
A new day is rising in Europe. A new day that brings to light linked to history, traditions, cultural and natural heritage. Here, you still find authenticity, people who are proud of their histories and traditions and willing to share with you. Our goals are to create a network with these incredible, charming villages and develop a transnational route between them. We involve the local communities to develop and host immersive experiences, sustainable, ecological, and that contribute to its economic development. Enter into an old ironworks village and walk along the creek and the craft workshops. Feel the quietness of Tejo National Park. Emerge in the purest lakeland nature in an ancient fishing, hunting, and trade village. The beauty of its nature and water is pure delight. Find an impressive stone mystical medieval world, a village so carefully preserved that seems to unveil those medieval times in every corner. Standing out on the golden plains of Alentejo, this medieval village captivates you and tells you of its ancestry and its prehistoric sites. Breathe in deeply the beauty of the Pyrenees, With its impressive landscape, pure spring waters, and Romanesque religious heritage. Disconnect yourself when entering the narrow streets, stone houses, and its hanging bridge with the relaxing sound of the waterfall that crosses it. Slide through the canals of this colorful and vibrant little Amsterdam that captivates us for its romantic atmosphere, the architecture, and history. Let yourself be carried away by the history of an old village of miners who made wooden toys out of adversity, colors, and symbols full of tradition. Discover a village rich in religious and industrial heritage linked to the tannery since ancient times, a rural world shaped by its flavors. In the heart of Europe, find a medieval village with its picturesque houses, an old castle involved by the lush green of a romantic valley. What richness, what diversity reveals our old Europe in these charming villages. Imagine yourself enjoying some of the many experiences we bring you in these villages, either making a workshop in nature, a typical cheese, the best pizza, crema catalana, traditional pottery, sculpture in stone, a wooden toy, fishing, stand-up paddle, or taking a Finnish sauna. Breathe and live the traditions and heritage of these charming villages. Be welcomed by one of the many hosts that will make you enter into this world of passionate people, eager to tell you the stories of their village. Be welcome. Take time for yourself. This is for you.
Okay, so did it work? So now we're going to Blanca.
Okay, thank you, Thomas. Well, thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Alan. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. Well, you've seen just this video. This is a great video that shows the charm Sul, and it inspires all of us willing to go when it will be possible to discover these lovely, charming villages. Next, Tommaso. Okay, thank you. So, and how have we reached this stage? Charm started 2 years ago as a project co-financed by the COSME program of the European Union. 7 different partners were involved in order to build a transnational route of 10 charming villages across 6 different European countries. The 7 partners are Turismo Vivencial, a destination management company based in Catalonia, Travel for Experience, a destination management company based in Portugal, NIT, a research center based in Germany, Tour Guide Fox from Finland, Swingy from Italy, and Nextour, the network of European regions for sustainable and competitive tourism, and of course, the Catalan Tourist Board as the coordinator of the project. So please, next. But what is charm? And what do we want charm to be? The main objective of the project is to position Europe as an integral destination of quality and excellence for cultural tourism by promoting its charming rural villages, and thanks to the CCI's technologies, provide a unique experience for visitors. And we have reached our goal, and now we want that other European villages join the network as well. Why? Because we have generated a strong legacy that we want to share with all of you. So next, please. The partnership is very important for the success of the project, but the 10 selected pilot villages are the core of the whole thing. I would like to give you an outline of the process. The project has worked for a common vision and criteria in view to have a common framework for the charming villages, also based on previous initiative. The focus is their identity linked to history, culture, gastronomy, even to natural assets that give to these lovely villages and surroundings what is perceived for the traveler as charming. Let me introduce you these pilot charming villages. As you can see, or in my wallpaper as well, in the north, there is Bourg-Brelin from Belgium. Then there is Rupit Antaul from Catalonia. we have Sortela and Monsaraz for Portugal, then Oravi and Matildedal from Finland, then Friedrichstadt and Seifen from Germany, and Cunsiria in Sicily, in Italy. So next, please. Why focus on the charm strategy for this? Before the current situation due to the pandemic, from the tourism sector, we were facing different issues, such as over-tourism, massification of some destinations, like some cities or coastal resorts. The industry, the impact of the tourism in the climate change, the pollution coming from transport industry, the concern about the carbon footprint. This strategy could help to overcome that. The 4Ds strategy was inspired by the marketing plan of the Catan Tourist Board. So first was one, the congestion, the concentration to create the new tourism flows from massive destinations to more unknown areas with high potential, always under the criteria of sustainability. The second one is the seasonalization. One of our objectives is to help to create new products that will help to generate new tourism flows in a low and medium seasons and augmenting the time spent in the villages. The third D is diversification. And here, the new technologies could have an important role in commercialization, promotion, and enjoyment. And finally, the development or double income to generate a positive impact on the local economy. So this strategy helped us to start to develop the CHARM project. And how did we do this? According to our marketing intelligence study, we conclude that the CHARM travelers expect the respect of local culture and natural environment, wants to actively participate in each experience, wants to discover a destination at their own pace, assuring that they also have the opportunity of an immersion within the local culture. And then also they want to find information on several communication channels to ensure an exhaustive research on the destination prior to the trip. And then to get used to the latest technological innovations for the decision process and the travel journey itself. Next, please. So what are the main outcomes? 76 new tourist experience has been identified, designed, and created. Regarding all the products and packages, Gemma from Turismo Vivencial and Luis from Travel for Experience, during today's sessions, will introduce to you the commercialization of the CHARM products. We have also produced 21 videos, some of 30 seconds, other of 3 minutes, that you will have the chance to discover and see them in between the different speakers. Next, please. So in order to create this 76 CHARM experience, we organized different trainings. Our training had 3 main objectives: to work with local stakeholders, public and private, to make them aware of the CHARM hosting philosophy, and then to develop sustainable and responsible products and experiences. So more than 200 tourism SMEs were trained and 129 tourism stakeholders were involved in the creation of the CHARM products and activities. Next, please. So the main technological outcome consists on the implementation of an augmented reality APP that will be presented by Tattoo of Tour Guide Fox, the virtual reality that will be introduced by Federica of SwimEat, and the web page platform that will be introduced by Marco from SwimEat as well. So next, please. So one of the main outcomes of the project has been the guide for promotional practice of rural tourism that Alan has introduced to us. And what we have we learned? Community development is the key to putting the villages on the map. And today will join us Nick Hall from Digital Tourism Think Tank that will give us an overview of the main learnings of this guide. We are also preparing an interactive sales guide in order to help with the promotion of the villages and experiences. Soon you will have the chance to check it in our website. Next, please. We had the chance to organize the CHARM Bridge event in the frame of the Forum Touristique. It was a hybrid event due to the current situation, presential and online. More than 500 people attended the event, as I said, virtually or physically. Our session was focused regarding applied technologies in rural areas, adding value to the tourism product. Therefore, how technologies could help little villages to develop sustainable tourism projects to attract more visitors and help them, the local community and economy. We also participate at the World Travel Market Tourism Fair online. We had the opportunity to present the charm products and get in touch with more than 50 tour operators and 20 influencers. And we are ready to participate in the ITV in Berlin, where we also will have the chance to introduce charm products and experience to tour operators, influencers, and press. One of the most important achievements has been the cooperation for the cross-selling strategies between DMCs and DMOs. That this is very interesting to see how is the commitment between them, also for the future of the product and the project. Moreover, we have launched an online survey to more than 200 tour operators from the main charm markets in order to know more about the charm commercialization possibilities. Next, please. So new regions or new village wants to join the network. So please, you can contact through the partners or just an email to charm@charmingeurope.eu, and we will be very happy to attend you. And last but not least, I just want to underline that CHARM is a great project. We regret that due to the pandemic situation, we could not do the things as we planned initially. We had to adapt to a new situation, and it has not been easy. Not for the partners, not for the village, but the most important thing is that we have overcome the constraints with a lot of work, dedication, cooperation, and collaboration among us. For that reason, CHARM is not a simple project that ends in 14 days. CHARM is the beginning of a strong relationship and commitment between different DMCs, DMOs, regions, and villages, and during this final conference, you will find out why. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Blanca. And now, when we are going to talk, we are going to watch at some videos about the villages, and we're going to start right now with Mathilde Dahl. If you don't hear the sound, please yell at me.
Mathilde Dahl is an authentic village located in southwest Finland coastal area. There is no doubt as to why the village was chosen to participate in the project Charm Villages.
I would like to welcome you to Teijo National Park and Mathilde Dahl and experience the beauty of the Finnish nature.
Mathilde Dahl.
Sorry. And now we are going to Monsaraz, who is in Portugal.
Monsaraz tem uma longa e rica história, tem um património construído magnífico, bem preservado e uma envolvente, uma paisagem cultural fortíssima. Por isso, convidar-vos a todos para visitarem Monsaraz é convidar um dos sítios mais bonitos de Portugal.
Monsaraz espera por vós, os monsarenses também, e Monsaraz está à sua espera.
So someone is listening to Freddie Mercury. Please stop. We are going now to have the intervention from Philippe Gielda. I didn't ask how to pronounce your last name, and I'm very sorry. Hello.
Hello, everyone. My name is Philip, and I'm here to talk a little bit about Greenland as a remote destination. I just want to make sure that everyone can see my PowerPoint at this point. All good? Great. Yes, Greenland is a very remote destination, as you all might know. So before I will dive into what do we do digitally and talk about efforts, I would like to just pinpoint where Greenland is actually located. And just for everyone not to mistake it, Iceland and Greenland, that's those two countries could as easily swap their names. And probably you've heard also about Greenland quite a lot the last few years because of this fella who really tried to buy Greenland, but thankfully he didn't manage. So as I mentioned before, Greenland is a remote destination. It's also at the same time the biggest island in the world, more than 2.2 million square kilometers, and only 56,000 citizens. So you can as easily describe Greenland as a perfect, charming, big village, which fits perfectly in this context. And except of the citizens, we also have quite a few polar bears and whales and other things that tourists like. But coming back to the subject, Visit Greenland is a small organization that only focuses on that only has about 13 employees, and we handle everything basically in-house. And we know how challenging it can be for small destinations with limited resources when it comes to digital, and what do we do digitally in order to make the destination shine and be discovered by the tourists. And when I talk about the challenges, you all can identify the same ones, basically, which is the financial resources and the human resources, which translates basically to having money on doing fun stuff, and then having people who can handle this kind of creative project. So what I would like to talk to briefly about is something that I call a digital sustainability, and digital sustainability can be, in my eyes, quite many things. But what I think is the most important is that to create the things that last, the things that can be prioritized by Google and they can be enjoyed by the tourists on the long term, and also to use as much and repurpose as much content as it is possible. So the digital sustainability is something that we are really happy for, and I'm personally going to describe a little bit of background for this idea, this concept. So as mentioned before, we all lack money in our digital budgets. We all would like to do all kinds of fun and creative and stuff that might have some viral potential and stuff. And it's still possible. I'm just saying that sometimes you can focus on doing something organically and focus on how to do it based on the research and using a little bit of more time instead of paying for things to get visible. That said, using proper SEO strategy over the paying for AdWords, because as we all know, the keywords nowadays and the clicks, they're insanely expensive, and they'll just become more with time and with more competition happening out there. So I think it all comes to creating something where you find your own keywords and even the keywords that are aligned with your concept, with your location, with the unique selling points that your destination, your content has. In focusing on creating something that both the tourists will believe that it is authentic and trustworthy, and if they do, and if people do, then Google will do as well, because Google functions more and more like a human when it comes to algorithms. The next thing is resources, as the second obstacle. And as I mentioned earlier, we all lack resources who can create stuff. But sometimes it's actually better to create less stuff if it's a good quality, less. If we create something that we believe in, and if it's something that responds to the customer's needs, The only thing that we should do is to make sure that we push it as much as possible distribution-wise, so it's visible out there. We have to create some interesting captions. We have to push it on social media, newsletter, and find some ambassadors who can promote your content, and preferably always try to, as much as possible, to find someone who would gladly backlink it, of course, organically and wisely, not in a way that it feels unnatural. And coming back to the sustainability, I think there is also quite a lot of focus in it, in digital sustainability, on user-generated content. There is existing so much content out there that can be repurposed in a good dialogue with people who actually make it, and trying to make people who either visited your destination or the people who live in your destination, make them shine and make them, you know, like heroes and ambassadors of your destination, is something that can only greatly benefit to your overall assessment of the destination when it comes to visibility. But nevertheless, it's all about the local knowledge and the power of community, because we all have our locals who know everything about the destination. And if they know everything about the destination and they have some preferences and they have some favorite activities and favorite things in the location, it can easily translate into the interest from the tourists. So creating this authentic content, which is coming from the locals, and the content that is both helpful, which means that the tourists can easily find what they're looking for in order to plan the trip, and the playful content, which is also entertaining. Then you have like a golden rule, a golden recipe for creating the content that is performing well organically, and the content that is interesting and being used. I think it's also really important to stress that your locals should be your ambassadors. They are already your ambassadors, and the better contact with your ambassadors you have, the easier it is for the ambassadors to be friendly and to be open for getting more tourists. So all in all, the power of community comes from the communication and interaction within it. So I would recommend actually doing the same thing as we do, to have a stakeholder map and try to assess the certain levels of stakeholders and try to map them, how we can use them in making the destination visible, and also telling them what are the opportunities and the wins of your destination getting more and more popular. And when it comes to the community, we have, as a Visit Greenland, we created several video contents throughout the last 2 years, where I would like to just highlight perhaps 3 of them and focus on maybe show quickly just 2 of them because of the time limitation. You can all access it. I created the short links at the bottom of my presentation, so if you would like to see them in full, you are welcome to just type it and do it after that. But I would like to start with an example of 360 degrees videos, a series of 360 degrees videos that we've made for a couple of years ago, where basically the 360 concept was blooming, and that was something that we definitely believed in, and we wanted to be a quick mover, because it's always very beneficial to jump on the wagon of interest for a certain trend. Doesn't have to be a trend in the tourism industry. You can always translate the trends from other industries as well, and just to customize it in order to bring some innovation. And the video, which I'm quickly going to show in the background, was something that made it accessible for people to basically, you can see them as we speak. I'm trying to rotate the video. The video was something that was created by us in-house. So it's definitely not something that is super high quality, but because we were fast and because we responded to the need and to the trend, we still gained quite a lot of views and interest from people who would like to actually see how this certain type of activity, which is very unique for Greenland himself, how can it be shown digitally and be available for everyone. So that was the 360 video that we focused briefly on. And then because of the corona, we were forced to create 2 other videos that responded first to how the future of travel, how the future of traveling to Greenland will look like, and how corona has actually managed to break us in a way that we need some mental pause. And because of that, like we're looking for some stillness, and we're still looking for something that can be entertaining. We just very recently created a video which is about the ASMR, which is, you can Google it afterwards, but basically it's about the very calming video of repeating the certain habits with touching and making sounds visible and stuff like that, which we responded, and I think we did it as one of the very first tourism destinations based on the culture aspect of our destination, to show how the certain elements of Greenland sound, because a lot of people actually turn those videos on when they go to sleep or when they feel stressed. So we created a 40-minute video in-house at our office in Nuuk, and which focused basically on how my colleague was pronouncing the name, and then how does it feel to interact physically with the elements of Greenland. And we just posted it last week, and we hope to also gather quite a lot of attention because of that, because we are very proud of the local items. And I think my time is running out at this point, so thank you very much all for your attention.
Thank you very much, Philippe. I forgot to say, but you are the first guest speaker of this CHARM conference, and you are from Visit Greenland. So thank you very much for your intervention. We are now going to Tom Ojala, who is from Asio Data, with also guest speakers. Tom, are you here?
Yes. Can you hear me, and can you see my presentation?
Yes, we can hear you, and you can go.
Okay. Well, hello to everybody. And my name is Tom Ojala, and I'm from a company called Asio Data from Finland. We are a small company in Finland, a software house and a solution provider that focuses fully on creating smart online booking services and solutions. And right now we are working with a charming village in Finland, Raudanmaa, to deploy these types of booking services for the village services. So let me start by looking a bit about the trends as we see in Asio, and what has happened in the past years, and how we see the future evolving in this space of online booking. And with booking, we mean everything, like space booking or services booking or devices booking, more or less anything. And key things that we have seen happening and what we foresee happening in the future in this space include things like security and privacy. So that's a key essential for any services. They need to be 100% secure and respecting the new GDPR regulations. It seems like everything will go into the cloud, meaning that the need for on-premise type of installations in the laboratories will get less and less in the future, whereas the cloud services, software as a service, takes more and more space. Use of services is in an increasing fashion going into mobile, and people want to access the services with all sorts of devices wherever and whenever. And then a couple of, let's say, technologies or things that are actually driving the use cases and all the possibilities in this booking space include the web shop. So what you want to do is make your bookings through online services and pay them on an on-demand basis. And then we also see that smart locks are increasing, which means that the mechanical keys are getting less and less, and we can digitalize the doors. And once you have a booking, you can simply walk in when you have the booking, and the door will open for you. A so-called smart API is enabling further use cases for booking type of services. I'll show you a bit of an examples of that a bit later. And then what we also see that the pandemic actually kind of increases or accelerates all of this. So the need for services, digital services, digitalization in general is increasing because of the need to self-service everything. Now, Asio Data, we create these digital solutions for online booking services, and through our services, you can book more or less anything online. Of course, you can add services into your bookings. So let's say you book a space or a meeting room and you want catering services as part of it, that's possible. And then you can pay, check out and pay for your purchase. Just like a normal web shop, but web shop for bookings. Another key use case is this related to smart locks, door access, by making a booking and accessing a space. What we do with this part is that we actually create so-called digital keys. So once you have a booking, we transfer over a digital key into the door. And when you have the booking or reservation for the space, the door will open if you have a validated booking to that particular space. And the key technologies that actually drive or enable these include NFC, near field communication, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and all sorts of mobile apps. I'd say that the imagination is kind of like the only limit here, what you can do or create for innovations in the booking space. There are a so-called technical term API, the application programming interface, which can be used to access or integrate software solutions to other subsystems. And for instance, we can quite easily create a situation like this, that you book a space, let's say a meeting room or a clubhouse or a sauna online. You have the booking in place, you have paid for it, you walk in, the door will open to you once you have a booking, and then automatically you can switch on the lights, or the system actually switches the lights on and turns on the heating, turns off the alarms. And if you have booked for instance, a sauna, it can also heat the sauna stove while you are there. And when your reservation is done, then the opposite will happen. The lights get off, heating gets lesser, the alarms will go on, and the sauna stove will get deheated, and the door will get locked. And this is all part of the, let's say, solution we can actually digitalize for more or less any village. What we have learned in Asio is that more or less every customer has unique booking needs and use cases. So we are kind of like an enabler that enables these different types of scenarios, what people want to book, how they want to book it, where they want to book it, what type of services should be included, and which type of gadgets or devices need to be steered while you have the booking. To finish up with my presentation, I'd like to share a short video about Asio in action. And in this video, you will see a kind of a normal use case where somebody makes an online booking, then accesses a room, and the door lock will automatically open for the user. Just a sec. I'll open the web browser for the video, and here we go. This is very short video. Now this lady is making a booking with a tablet from Asio for a meeting room space. She has her cell phone with her. She walks into the space, clicks on the button, and the lock will open by clicking the button. Then she just walks in. And that's how easy it is. Okay, so for further information, we are happy to answer all the questions. We have a few minutes here today for questions, but then you can also contact us later if you are interested.
Watch out for the automatic other video.
Another video started there.
It's okay.
Okay, so, but you feel free to contact us through our website or through ASIO at asio.fi for any further inquiries about the smart digital online space booking solutions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tom. I remember that all presentation and of course the contact of the speaker are going to be shared to all the registered participants. So we will be able, you will be able to contact Tom or Philippe or even every partners or every speakers afterwards. We have a few minutes for question. I know, and there's already one from Ulf who is asking Philippe how you're doing such good digital content with such a small team. Is it like good management, incentive bonuses, or just being very good at looking what's good somewhere else?
Well, thanks of all, thank you Ulf for your kind words. How do we do it? Well, I think the key is the communication, and we communicate all the time about all the ideas that come to our mind. And our digital team is built basically of 5 persons that work also with other things, including market development and press and stuff like that. So we are one web editor, one social media person, one content writer, one videographer who's also a photographer, and me as a strategist in this context. And we are all the time following the trends, what is happening in the world. For example, if we know that there is some potential of someone is talking about Greenland, we jump on the wagon, we newsjack it. And if there is some interesting trend happening that we can translate to what do, we do it right away without thinking much. Because if you are a small team and you want to gain something, it's all about the response and being agile and responding quickly.
Okay. Thank you, Philippe. I think it's very good. I don't see any other question, but of course, if you have other question, you can ask directly to the speakers. Like we said, we're going to a question for Tom. In terms of safety and security, or is it possible to take under control to avoid improper use? For example, we are using a meeting room. How to avoid improper use?
That's a very good question. And of course, when we integrate into the smart locks systems, the security part is part of that. So ensuring that only the person who has validated access to the room will get into the room, and logging the usage is part of the solution.
Okay. Thank you very much. And the last question to Philippe, how do you organize the locals or your local community to help the visitors?
We work very closely with our DMOs, who are the bridge between the locals and us, but we also created a forum for the people who actually live in Greenland, who have something to do with tourism. And this is the old school idea of a forum, like nowadays Reddit, that is being translated only for the small closed group of people that have something to do with tourism. And we write about the problems, we respond to them, we try to find solutions, and we try to create a synergy because of that.
Okay, thank you very much. We are going to talk about DMOs in the STARM project very, very soon. So for now, we are going to watch 2 short videos again about one of the villages, and we're going to start with my favorite because it's in Belgium. Here we go.
Herzlich willkommen in Burgkruiland, einem charmanten Ort in Belgien. Kulturell Interessierte kommen hier im Urtal voll auf ihre Kosten. Das Rad und fahren einfach über die Fennbahn. Seit einigen Jahren stehen unseren Gästen auch E-Bikes und Mountainbikes zum Ausleih zur Verfügung. Mein Name ist Vanessa und ich würde mich freuen, Sie bei uns in Burgkruiland begrüßen zu dürfen.
And we are going then after Belgium, we are going to Catalonia with the village of Rupit.
Estem a Rupit, un dels pobles amb encant de Catalunya.
Amb una filosofia molt clara, el sentit de la pedra, la fusta i les teules.
L'any 45 van enginyar el pont penjat.
Que després de 60 anys aguanta de peus.
Un lloc on podem contactar amb el silenci. És un paisatge realment captivador.
Okay, so now we are going to start the second session of the day with the first partner, not the first partner because we already had Blanca, but partners from the CHARM partnership. It's a very repetition of partners. This is Marco Papalardo and Frederica Grasso from Swingit Software Engineering Italy. How are you doing, guys? It's your turn.
Thank you, Thomas. Good morning, everybody. As you can see, my name is Marco. I'm the CEO of this small and medium enterprise located in Italy. I'm going to show you some hints from the technical activities, the two, maybe mainly initially for mine, and then another talk will follow from Federica and then from Tatu. We are going to show the technical activities the CCI provided to the project. Let me share with you a very short presentation. So let me see whether you see. Please confirm. Okay. So first of all, we'll talk about the CHARM web portal. Sorry. Okay. Let me spend just 1 minute.
Marco, we see your share. No, we don't see the full screen. We see the other screen.
You don't see. You see the other screen.
Yes.
Okay. Let me share it again. Let's go like this. Now?
It is perfect.
Okay. So what is Swingit? Swingit is a small and medium enterprises, which is turning into an officially medium enterprise in a couple of years. We work in 7 different fields, from space missions to industry automation, passing through the virtual museums and touristic support for tourism services. Our main technology is everything which is related to improving the visualization layer. So we use virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality, touchable experiences, and holography in order to improve services developed by us or by our customers. Obviously, we provide training, also dissemination and communication services, and why not, let's say, social media management, SEO, and SEM services for the web. These are some of the technologies we could ingest in any tourism solution we can support. Some of them are related to charm, like an example, the head-mounted display. Federica will be showing the virtual reality app we produced for one of the pilot sites in Charm. Now I'm going to tell you about the web portal. What is the Charm web portal? It's a responsive website built on top of WordPress. First released on October 2 years ago, October 2019. Now finalized a few days ago and available at the official URL of the project portal. In the portal, we set 11 different pages containing key elements. In this picture, you can see the common header and the common footer for all the pages. The landing page of the project, as I will show, is the home page. In the home page, you will find the menu bar, you will find the carousel of vocational images dedicated to the 10 pilot villages. There will be a search, you will find a search bar. I will show you how it works very soon. And you will find in the bottom part of in the central part of the home page, a description of the Charm project, a link to our YouTube channel, and a map showing pins in for the 10 villages in order to localize them around Europe. In the bottom part of the page, you will have a group of images inviting the user, the visitor, to inspect the 6 different items of the short Charm Village taxonomy. So the 6 aspects we focused the products onto: culture, authenticity, local food, specialty, nature, and the whole village. Together with this, you'll find the chance to subscribe to the Charm newsletter, and obviously a well, advertised logo for the project. We will put also an informative page containing the goals of the project, the credits, where obviously an explanation of the funding program and the list of partners took place. We provided the description of the privacy policies, which cannot be missing in a modern website. We obviously introduced all the terms related to data protection, data processing, disclosure and use of personal data, like security and rights, as well as security and rights to information and the compliance with GDPR regulation, analytics, and so on. Obviously the main part of the descriptive pages are related to the villages and to the experiences which are advertised. In the village section, per village, you can find one page describing history, tradition, and available entertainment and journey. You will see that all the village pages share a common layout, where we can see one descriptive image for a panoramic image for the village, and short and a long description of the village, localization inside the country, a map locating all the attraction, the main attraction for the village, weather forecasts widget, 360 image in the middle part, together with a gallery with at least 6 different images. Then we have 3 images acting as gates towards activities, 1 night accommodation products and 2 night accommodation based products. as well as 6 different images, allowing the user to inspect all the catalog offer for that village with respect to a given term of the taxonomy I talked about before. The second element, really, so from those gates, you access the experiences page, which is the real catalog of the product. You will see altogether activities and products, and you can filter them through the left-hand side menu. At the moment, we have 75 charm experiences, and by clicking on one of them, you jump to the specific activity page. In the activity, you have information related to the activity, like description, duration, the cost, 3 images related to activity with a main descriptive image on top of the page, and the book button leading the user to the booking process. Obviously, in the bottom part of the page, you have a sort of grid summarizing important information like detailed description of the experience, itinerary for the products, duration and maximum and minimum groups, period of availability, meeting point, and eventual restrictions, what is included and what not included as well. The professional page allows professionals to have access to specific information, and as an example, to download the AR app through Google Play or the VR app through Oculus Shop. Professional can also download documents like the guide to become a charm village and the sales guide in English, French, and German as well. All the brochures related to the 10 villages are available in these pages also. We have a news page where the 4 newsletters are published together with the press release now available and the guide for promotional practices of destination. If we agreed that the questions comes later, so if we still have 1 minute, I will go to the website and make you see something in real time.
Yes, we will just go to the website. I'm talking to the people. We will have take the question regarding all the technical aspect of the charm project after the 2 next speakers. Because after the website, we're going to talk about the different apps of virtual reality and augmented reality. Are you ready, Marco?
Yes, I think that you can see my whole screen.
Yes.
Am I right? Okay. So I accept the cookie policy. Perfect. You now are on the home page. This is the landing page of the website. I can choose, I don't know, you like the Belgian village. My favorite is the Italian one. I don't know why. So I choose the Italian one and I find all the experiences related to the Italian pilot. As you can see, the catalog shows I have the village selected on the left-hand side, and I can see the 8 different products and activities for Sicily. It's really, it's easy to use because you can change the filters on the left-hand side, and then you can select, I don't know, like make arancini in Sicily, which is a really special local food for Sicilian people. And then you can see you have the description of the activity. You can see all the information related to it. You can ask for more information, contact the DMC or the DMO related to this activity. And then if you like it, you can book by clicking on this button. I think that is really, really intuitive. Okay, if I have 10 seconds, I also make you see that we are running somehow, okay, the SEM campaign, which already started. So if you like, you have a Facebook page where all our villages are already published. We have all the posts online, and we are sponsoring them one by one during these hours. Thank you.
That's good. Thank you very much, Marco. Now we are going to Federica. Are you here, Federica? Federica Grasso, also from Software Engineering Italy, Swingit. You can go.
Thank you. I'm sharing my screen. Okay, so the virtual reality application offers to the visitor the possibility to explore in an immersive way the a selected architectural good. For the charm project, we decided to choose the Palazzo Trao Ventimiglia in Vizzini, the Italian pilot of La Consiglieria. And we reconstructed it in 3D and then organized the virtual reality experience. So the museum, this palace hosts the Museum of Verga Imaginary, and there are two main exhibitions. At the ground floor, the exhibition about work tools of local tanners. And at the first floor, the Verga's passion for photography. So in order to make the reconstruction to the digital 3D model, we did a digital survey with the lesson scanners. You can see the image here inside of the courtyard of the palace. And then we elaborated the point clouds, reconstructed a mesh, and then decimated in order to have the possibility to work it and to do the UV mapping and the texturing of the palace. Then we imported it in Unity, real-time 3D development platform. That is a platform that consent to create virtual experiences as well as games. And we managed all the materials, lights, the teleporting system, and interaction. Now, we organized all the experience as a virtual path. So now I show you a video where I explain you this virtual path. Can you see it?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, so
Federica, you should share the audio also.
Ah, yes. Sorry.
In the option upstairs.
In
the options.
In the options.
In the options, and you can choose share the audio.
Well, let's see like this. Okay. Okay, maybe now.
Yes.
Okay,
Perfect.
Okay, so the visit starts from the outside on the facade of the palace, where you can look at the beauty of this facade. Then entering, you can go to the ground floor in the room we decided to reconstruct, where the processing of ricotta cheese is shown, and then going to the first floor, you can look at these beautiful rooms and the pictures that Verga took when he was in Vizzini, and the panels that shows information about the images. For example, this one is about friends and family, and you can look at the picture with high definition, just like as we're there. And all the pictures shows moments of Verga's life and Verga's friends and family. And for example, now we go to another panel. That is the panel that shows the life of Verga. This one. So you can access to this interactive panel just by clicking on the charm logo in each room and just admire the beauty of this palace and the exhibition inside of it. In this room are shown the images about the local farmers, the rural world that Verga photographed, and it was very inspiring for him. The panels also show information about the palace as this one, for the vault and the floor, that are unique, are very, very special for the Jubilead zone. When you have finished your experience, you go back to the main menu and just exit to the app.
Well, that's really impressive.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Federica. I remind everyone that you can ask questions in the chat. We are going to our next partners of the technical team, like I call them. It's Tatu Niklas Salminen from Tour Guide Fox from Finland, and is going to talk about the augmented reality of apps of the Charm Village. You can go.
Thank you, Thomas. So I am Tatu Niklas Salminen from the Tour Guide Fox. It's a small, medium enterprise in Finland. So I will introduce you the developed AR app application, but let me first talk about the initial process. So at the first phase of our project, we created the digital journey mapping of a charmed traveler in order to understand the different digital stages from awareness, searching, consideration, comparing, and actually making the decision to travel, and then sharing experience with others. And it became very clear that the charm brand and the products has to be visible in many different platforms, OTAs, social media channels, prior the traveler makes the decision to travel to charm location. What about the travelers who are already visiting a charm village? How we make charm visible to them in sustainable way with up-to-date content. So our online platform has that content available, but how we encourage the charm village and the stakeholders promote other charm villages and stakeholders, which potentially might be their competitors. So the charm brand and the content should be easily displayed with minimum space and effort required. Today, there are so much interesting content in the social media. What is the incentive for the potential charm traveler to find out more about charm? Maybe by utilizing new technology which provides the information in interesting way. One of the charm project's tasks was to utilize augmented reality and create a mobile application. So what is AR? Augmented reality is an interactive experience where computer digital content is overlaid over real-world background, for example, through mobile phone device camera. In industrial environment, it's often used to deliver consumable work instruction by overlaying that digital content onto the real-world environment. And in the game industry, it's utilized to overlay, like in this case, Pokemon characters on top of that real world environment. And what's a mobile app? It's a software application designed to run a mobile device such as phone, tablet, or watch. And it's commonly downloaded from application distribution platforms like Google Play Store. So Charm application utilizes augmented technology, which overlays Charm Village videos over a real background seen through an Android mobile phone device. So it helps traveler to obtain information and enrich the experience at the location. So let me show you this short video about the AR app.
A lot of videos today. This is a very interacting meeting.
All right. So here we see two travelers are having tea at the Charm Village. At the tables, there's a leaflet of Charm showing that this place is a partner of the Charm family. They are interested to know more about the Charm. She downloads the application through Google Play Store and opens it. On the main page of the application, there's a drop-down list of all 10 Charm villages. She selects one. The mobile phone camera opens and it starts to scan the environment. When she points the camera on the Charm logo, a video appears on top of it. The logo is a target image on which selected content is augmented on. In our case, it's a video of the village, but it could be an object, map, image, or other digital content. When she gets interested, she clicks the web button. She's now linked to the village page of the platform. There are more information available, maps, activities, and so on, which Marco already showed us. The goal is that she would go and buy an activity while visiting that charming village, or gets interested about the other locations as well. So the AR app is like an appetizer, makes you want to know more. By going back, she gets back to the application, and thereby clicking back buttons, the main page appears and she can continue exploring in a new visual way. So in short, it's a kind of a way to look at digital information, what's provided by the villages, and it's an appetizer for getting more information. Thank you
very much, Tatu. We don't have any question yet, but first I want everyone to ask everyone to turn their camera on. We are also going to take family pictures before the break. And if you want to ask a question about the technical issues, please do it now. I'm going to ask a question in the meantime. When are the apps going to be available to the grand public, to everyone? Either the AR app or the VR app. And if they are available, you can say to the public if they are available, and voila.
Yeah, for example, the AR app is available through downloading through the platform.
That's
so what Marco already showed, it's already available.
Okay, that's great. And if you can smile, if you would be nice. after we have a 5-minute break. No worries.
Is the break the price for the smiling?
Yes.
Oh.
Okay. Thank you. I think we're done. We come back at 11:25, please. I know it's a short break, but it's important to stay on time. And we will have, I will play the video again during the break, so no worries. Have a good break. See you at 11:25, please.
A new day is rising in Europe. A new day that brings to light its hidden gems. These are beautiful and charming villages in rural Europe where we can find exceptional personality and identity linked to history, traditions, cultural, and natural heritage. Here, you still find authenticity, people who are proud of their histories and traditions and willing to share with you. Our goals are to create a network with these incredible, charming villages and develop a transnational route between them. We involve the local communities to develop and host immersive experiences, sustainable, ecological, and that contribute to its economic development. Enter into an old ironworks village and walk along the creek and the craft workshops. Feel the quietness of Tejo National Park. Emerge in the purest lakeland nature in an ancient fishing, hunting, and trade village. The beauty of its nature and water is pure delight. Find an impressive stone mystical medieval world, a village so carefully preserved that seems to unveil those medieval times in every corner. Standing out on the golden plains of Alentejo, this medieval village captivates you and tells you of its ancestry and its prehistoric sites. Breathe in deeply the beauty of the Pyrenees with its impressive landscape, pure spring waters, and Romanesque religious heritage. Disconnect yourself when entering the narrow streets, stone houses, and its hanging bridge with the relaxing sound of the waterfall that crosses it. Slide through the canals of this colorful and vibrant little Amsterdam that captivates us for its romantic atmosphere, the architecture, and history. Let yourself be carried away by the history of an old village of miners who made wooden toys out of adversity, colors, and symbols full of tradition. Discover a village rich in religious and industrial heritage linked to the tannery since ancient times, a rural world shaped by its flavors. In the heart of Europe, find a medieval village with its picturesque houses, an old castle involved by the lush green of a romantic valley. What richness, what diversity reveals our old Europe in these charming villages. Imagine yourself enjoying some of the many experiences we bring you in these villages, either making a workshop in nature, a typical cheese, the best pizza, crema catalana, traditional pottery, sculpture in stone, a wooden toy, fishing, stand-up paddle, or taking a Finnish sauna. Breathe and live the traditions and heritage of these charming villages. Be welcomed by one of the many hosts that will make you enter into this world of passionate people, eager to tell you the stories of their village. Be welcome. Take time for yourself. This is for you. A new day is rising in Europe. A new day that brings to light its hidden gems. These are beautiful and charming villages in rural Europe where we can find exceptional personality and identity linked
That was a very short break. Hello, Nick.
Hi, great to be here.
That's nice. Do you want to just try to do a very short try of sharing your screen when everyone is coming back?
Yeah. Let me just now. So share screen.
Thomas, in the meanwhile, I can ask all of our attendees, since I feel they liked our work, so I published the link to the Facebook webpage on the chat. I also feel that they like the page and they want to follow us eagerly. So please click on I like your page and then follow us, please. You will be part of our SCM campaign.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think it's good, Nick. You can stop sharing the presentation.
Okay. Let me stop share.
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to share 2 new short videos and then we're going to the next session.
Imagine if you put a little piece of Amsterdam right in the middle of the north of Germany. That sounds a little bit crazy, but it's the truth. I'm glad to see you in Friedrichstadt soon.
So that was Friedrichstadt, and you have to know that in the partnership we have a game and where everyone is trying to say Friedrichstadt, and the one who's winning is Ulf, of course. And then we are going to Sicily.
È ben lieta di partecipare al progetto Charm. Chi viene da fuori è rigorosamente da provare questa ricotta di zinese. Una ricotta che fa bene alla salute.
La Pomap, un'azienda che è specializzata nella produzione di pomodoro.
Vivo a Pizzini. Ho iniziato a fare il panettiere nel 1966.
So that was great, and I'm very sad that we didn't get to go to Sicily. So now we are going to go to our new next speaker. It's Nick Hall, or Nicholas Hall, from the Digital Tourism Think Tank on the presentation of the Guide of Good Practices. Are you ready, Nick?
Hopefully. Yes, I think I should be.
Okay, so you can go.
Great, thank you. So just confirming you can see my screen, right?
Yes, you can. I can see your screen.
Excellent. So it's great to be with you. And just tell me, how do I have 5 or 10 minutes just so I can manage it?
You have 10 minutes.
10. Okay, great. Yeah, well, we worked on the guide for promotional practices as part of this project. And I think, there's been a lot of learnings whilst we did the research. Our first task was to really jump in and try to understand where best practices lie when it comes to promoting and supporting the tourism development of small villages. And it revealed quite a few interesting findings. First of all, that it's not so easy to find a common method, common approach, common model. It just can't be found. But there were many, many interesting takeaways that came up through that process. Of course, this is also what we here at the Digital Tourism Think Tank do day in and day out. So we saw a lot of synergies with some of the wider best practices that we talk about and we focus on in the tourism industry at large. And the key things really come down to 3 specific sort of pillars. First of all is that development is really, really key. Continual investment in supporting development at a product, at a sustainability level, and at an innovation level. And unfortunately, I was speaking on another conference, so I haven't been able to see all the speakers so far, but I just caught the end of the last speaker. And this is, this type of innovation is exactly where there are some real opportunities to both create awareness, but also change the flow of tourism so that the villages throughout Europe can really, really maximize the opportunities post-pandemic, especially. The second is creation and management of product and experiences. This is a really big opportunity. It's something we have to keep investing and focusing on. And it's an area where we can really identify unique and interesting ways that those villages can really tap into that with such an incredible proposition that and a unique proposition that every village has. And the last is really being able to tell their story effectively in an engaging way. And of course, the internet has opened up so many opportunities. It's also created a lot of competition. But one of the things that is really allowed everybody to do is be their own storyteller. And so if we can identify what the DNA of each destination is, when we look at, at villages, for example, we can find the way to tell their story in a really engaging way that doesn't try to, tap into mass tourism. We all know that that's got a lot of negative impacts, and it's not the kind of tourism that we really want to be driving, but allow us to identify those visitors that share those similar values or interests, that each and every village will have its own unique proposition. We developed a sort of canvas, an interactive canvas, and I can certainly share that after this discussion. But basically, we explored in detail some of the different approaches to collaboration, to using technology, to tapping into the everyday opportunities that exist in social and when it comes to storytelling. And that was a little bit of launching also the way of collaborating and working together, because this is really, really key. So if we start with the first pillar, that idea of development and destination communities, community is at the core when we're talking about the promotion and development of those small and charming villages. And so community has to be at the core of how we define that opportunity when it comes to tourism. We know, especially when we go more into the nature, the landscape, that link between heritage and the geography is so key. And that means that when we think about things like sustainability, they're particularly important in this case. So it's important we don't just develop tourism, but we use tourism as an opportunity to reinforce those ideas around sustainability, and even revisit things like heritage to actually strengthen them, not have them deteriorated by tourism. And when we look forward, and we're all suffering right now the huge impacts of COVID, what we need at the center of that is to apply innovation, to use creativity, to find unique and interesting ways to approach things, which simply means that no one destination will really find the same approach. It's about understanding what the right type of tourism and the right way to tap into that and develop that is for each destination. And that's where collaboration is so important, that idea of partnership. What we see here today is a great example of partnership, but we can keep working on that. We can go so much further. And it's really, really important, because if we take the capabilities, whether that's financial, whether that's people, whether that's skills or technology, in one specific place, obviously they will be very limited. But if we pool our resources and capabilities and we have a diverse set of perspectives, we're able to achieve so much more. And so this is really, really key to think about how to harness that. Right, going to keep going through. I'll use my 10 minutes just talking on that. So community initiatives. Well, first of all, it's important to apply these key steps. So evaluation, understanding what we have, where our core strengths are, what our unique selling points are, and what our DNA is as a destination. It's important for anything to be successful that there's a kind of cross-sector buy-in. I say institutional buy-in because it needs that leadership, but also that tourism extends beyond classical tourism, that we see the opportunity to make the visitor economy work for every single part of the economy. And that's where the idea of bringing communities together is really important. You know, in a village environment, you want everybody to believe and feel the same passion for tourism that those tourism operators can obviously see, which is why they've started their different businesses. And to support that, you know, you need ongoing training and coordination around training, and not only for sort of hard skills, but also to involve people in the process. The more open and pluralistic we can be about setting the direction and strategy, the more everybody can take a sense of ownership. And obviously there are also issues around regulation. When we think about the gig economy, which has been so disruptive, it's also created so many opportunities. So it's important that we can all have a conversation about that and balance, you know, where the opportunities are, but also where the challenges are. And to make sure that actually those small and rural locations are the winners out of digitalization, not the losers. We looked at different models. So we actually saw that, you know, the best models were actually not directly linked to tourism. So we looked at the example of Britain in Bloom, something that's run throughout the whole country, and it really activates so many small towns and small villages to really beautify their destinations, for want of a better word, to win that competition. And they're driven by that opportunity to be recognized for that kind of beautification of their village, and to win like a Village in Bloom competition for having really invested in the appearance that gives through the kind of floral arrangements. In other countries, we see really interesting examples of different businesses saying, well, you know, this is our heritage, so this is how we can work together. So in North Carolina, they built a sort of discovery route called the Quilt Trails, where you could actually visit lots of different businesses who all kind of worked with this idea of barn quilts. And this was linked in with the tourism experience. We also looked at digitalization, and we saw initiatives like Smart Village Scotland, initiatives to try and really focus digitalization, not on those kind of macro level things that we often look at, but looking at how to create, you know, smart tourism and how to integrate technology to improve the overall visitor experience. We've seen many, and this is not new, but over a period of 20 years or so, we've seen so many good examples of clustering different thematic routes. In particular, the cultural European Council of Europe cultural routes are a really good example of that. And these are really fundamental to building networks, but also focusing innovation across a pan-European approach as well. We looked here at, this is an example from Canada, Ile de la Madeleine, which is in the French-speaking part of Canada. And they use design thinking to bring all of the different partners across this very sparse destination to work on solutions. So this is an example of a design thinking workshop to connect different museums and attractions so that people can make those connections and have a much richer visit. They've also done design thinking sessions around building out the kind of food story and food experience. And so that kind of reinforces the importance of collaboration as a community to come together and work together to develop new products and new ideas. This is an example of some of the ways that we work on that. And I think it's, you know, it shows that whilst we're all in this remote environment right now, and we would love to be together, we can do so much digitally. And there's a huge element of productivity, which can perhaps be one of the benefits of working remotely. So, you know, it's important to kind of use this moment to find new ways of working, to create that exposure. And this is what we would say is a perfect example of remote collaboration, putting sticky notes that you would normally put around a workshop wall, but doing that in a digital environment. And, you know, continuing to work on that. And perhaps in the long run, whilst we want to allow people to keep traveling and collaborating together in person, there are also many instances where it makes sense to continue that working together in a remote environment. There are so many collaborative tools that allow us to do that. I'm conscious of time, so I'm just going to focus on the key highlights here. So we need a wider knowledge of sustainability issues. We need local people to come together, and we need to create social ambassadors. We need to enable each community, however they're organized, it might be organized by theme or the actual location or a network, to define their own sustainability plan and to find where they can align themselves with the same objectives. Okay, moving on to product and experience. We often work around what's known as signature experiences. This is, creating really standout experiences which match the DNA as a brand of the destination. This is about bringing out what's really strong about the core kind of cultural heritage of the destination and packaging and building that into an experience that can help lift it. In the guide, we published our brand framework, which hinges on 4 pillars: finding the experience framework, finding the right match with the DNA of the destination, communicating it really effectively, building and packaging the right product, in particular now, to be distributed, booked, and experienced online, and organizing and curating what exists in the destination. And we focused in particular on how to organize and curate that, but also how to tell the story behind that. And that can be, in a very intangible way, as well as, the traditional sense of product. So in an intangible way, that's through maps and experiences, things like an AR discovery route, where you can scan something and then discover the next thing and discover the next thing. It's about enriching the visitor's experience and creating those motivations to continue experiencing it. Of course, traditionally that looks like this: labels and routes, which encourage you to follow a certain trail and discover. But increasingly, as we look towards the future, those are digital routes that perhaps don't even require fixed infrastructure, but can be created in a digital environment. We showed this example of, what can be done at a very low tech, low cost level. This is a series of pubs throughout the UK that created events as a reason to get people together. And they called them pub trails, where they start at a pub and they go on a half-day walk and they discover the local villages and the environment. Great example of how sometimes product development can actually be very, very simple, but bring out the best of the destination. We see, if we look back at the cultural routes, great examples of connecting destinations around the same themes. We see here, for example, the Cotswolds, they've created Discovery Trail, which allows people to go and discover the destination. We see in Flanders, they've created trails that allow you to discover the heritage and the history of the battlefields during the war. So it really will depend on what is the history and heritage of each destination and what is the right story to tell. And there are so many different opportunities, from expert-led tours, curated experiences, and events and festivals, as well as technology-driven solutions. Lastly, and I'm very conscious of time, telling the story around that is key. So, we need to be very effective and very authentic about how we tell those stories. And, the choices we have are just infinite. So at the end of the day, this is where destinations can really partner and work together with those that are on the ground in those rural and more remote destinations. This is an example of Newfoundland and Labrador creating a really immersive site where you can discover the sounds and senses of the destination. I can't go into it in the time I have, but just something which really sparks curiosity, not to stay in those major destinations, but to go off the beaten track and really connect with it. We see great examples, especially through the Charm network and all the different partners that come in, of creating those routes and networks and discovery. The next step is to do that in a really powerful and rich and immersive way digitally. So we didn't see so much of that. And I think that's something that we really look forward to seeing much more of in the future. A great example was the small villages of Japan, which really kind of allowed you to escape and get away. There's a lot more here around storytelling, but I don't really have the time. This is one of my favorite examples. It's a local heroes, and it's a small village in Italy where they got local people to tell their story. And this is what tourism was all about. It's about meeting and connecting with people. So I just want to end with this note on where we're at now. We did this before the pandemic, and we're now post-pandemic looking forward. What people are looking for today is increasingly to get away, to get out, to go into the nature and to discover something that's more meaningful and authentic, to connect with the destination and to discover it in a richer way. So that aspect of local community and the opportunity for Charm is more important than ever right now. And it's all about how we build something that's really, truly authentic, and how we maximize all the opportunities to be innovative, to be collaborative, but also to use technology to allow and enable people to go out and to discover, to whether that's going off the beaten track or whether that's somehow humanizing that discovery through technology. So technology is not the barrier, but it's actually the interface between visitors and the local heritage and population. So on that note, and I realize I've run out of my time, I'd like to say thanks a lot for inviting me to speak, and happy to answer any questions or contribute further to the discussion.
Yes, you can ask the question in the chat like in usual. It will be answered after the two next speakers. The next speaker is Anja Nivera from Visit the Limburg. It's the South Limburg province at the south of the Netherlands. I'd probably butch your last name, but I'm very, very, very sorry. You can go. You're ready.
Can you hear me? Yes. Can everyone hear me?
We can hear you and we can see your screen.
Okay. Okay.
Do not hesitate to go full screen.
Yes. Is it visible right now?
No, we see the other screen.
Like this? Is it okay now?
It's okay now.
Okay. Well, it's about South Limburg, a spiritual awakening. It's the afterlife of the COSME project Spirit Youth. First, South Limburg is located in the south of the Netherlands, in the three-country region, surrounded by Germany and Belgium. We were joined last to the Netherlands. We have some non-typical characteristics, non-typical for the Netherlands. For example, we have hills. Here you see them, and these hills made us a very popular domestic destination. We are the oldest tourist destination in the Netherlands. And what is very particular about South Limburg is that we are a Catholic region. So some of you might know that Holland is Protestant. We are very Catholic, and this was interesting for us as a DNA team in tourism. In 2015, we joined the discussions about Spirit Youth, which is a COSME project. And the objectives and keywords of this project was actually exploiting the potential of young people mobility within the European Union. And the keywords were, it was about religious tourism, pilgrimage, spiritual tourism, youth tourism. And the project started in 2016. We were with 6 participants from all over Europe. It's quite similar to what I see with Charm Villages. We were from Belgium, Spain, Italy, France, and the Netherlands. And well, what did the COSME project Spirit Youth brought us? Well, first of all, confirmation of our direction. Already since 2010, we were experimenting with spiritual tourism linked to our Catholic past. And the COSME Spirit Youth project brought us the confirmation that there indeed is a market for spiritual tourism and not only among the older generations. At the time, 64% of our overnights were baby boomers, so the older generations, and we didn't think of the millennials as being a potential for spiritual tourism, but the project Spirit Youth proved that there is a market there. What was very important too for us is the knowledge we gained of religious tourism. We used, for example, the research results of the Universitat of Girona for defining our new strategy. We transformed our Catholic past into the DNA team, a spiritual awakening. So through the Spirit Youth project, we went into another. We looked differently to this market and the way we had to position in it. So the program South Limburg, a Spiritual Awakening, is now part of our new regional tourism strategy called Destination South Limburg 2030. Third thing Spirit Youth brought us was inspiration, actually. By visiting other destinations and by exchanging good practices with our SMEs and those in the participating destinations, we were really inspired to develop new products like our Caminis. I will show them later on. And then contacts. Never underestimate contacts you make out of your own fences. Actually, when you're working in a country like the Netherlands, there is always this same scene. And what we gained by this project is that we met totally new people with new insights. And so over next tour and Spirit Youth, we came in contact with the European Federation of St. James Way, and that's the Camino de Santiago route organization. We became a member in 2018, so after Spirit Youth ended. And this membership helped us to develop products alongside the Camino in South Limburg, of which at the time we're not aware that it was there. So now we are very aware of the Camino in our region. So from 2016 and onwards, we were executing the new DNA team, South Limburg Spiritual Awakening, and we followed the customer journey by doing so. The journey is, when you see this image, every bullet is an action we do as an organization in every phase of the travel process of the guest. So I go to you. So the first phase, if you want to reach out for customers, for guests, is that you have the basics have to be in order. Your region has to be okay. So we did some research in this phase to explore the possibilities of taking advantage of the famous Camino, which passes South Limburg, including the possibility of product development alongside this pilgrimage route. As out of the Spirit Youth research came that young people love to do pilgrimage, short pilgrimages, in any way pilgrimages. So this research delivered us two different target groups, first the day or short strollers, and then the pilgrims, and we defined all kinds of characteristics for them and on which we started working. And we chose a positioning for those two groups. The first is the strollers is South Limburg as a place to relax, to find silence, to discover yourself and to escape from daily city life. And second, South Limburg, the South Limburg Camino as a practice route before starting the real Camino, and as a remembering route after one has walked the Camino. So then we did in this first basic phase some product development. We developed 11 caminis, which is a new word we developed, and they are short pilgrimage routes starting at the original Camino here in South Limburg and returning to the original Camino. They are 5 to 15 kilometers, and every of the 11 they are offering roads or tasks which we want to stimulate spiritual discoveries and awakening. You can watch them on a video I have showed the link. Then our 11 caminis, we launched them in August 2020, so last summer, and they were an instant success in the Netherlands. We planned 25,000 downloads of our caminis in 12 months, but we realized already 35,000 downloads in 2 months. So it was a huge success. And so we developed also in the same time a booklet, which is available online and in print. South Limburg, A Spiritual Awakening, with information about religious, spiritual and remarkable places in our region, with events and typical South Limburg traditions. We even developed a Camino credential, a stamp card, and we also had other routes, various routes alongside spiritual locations like our road crosses. They are also very dominant in our region. Then our whole work on spiritual tourism over Spirit Youth was noted by our Dutch government, the Dutch Government Service for Cultural Heritage, the Rijksdienst voor Cultureel Erfgoed. And South Limburg became for them the national pilot region for developing new life in churches, which is quite an honor and also interesting because you are in contact with new people from The Hague. Then we also started developing and supporting events with a spiritual component. Then one of our leading communities in spiritual tourism, Echt Zusteren, they started to develop augmented reality access and films of their spiritual reality, spiritual heritage, which also was booked quite well, because not all churches are open all the time. So like that, they can visit them. Then in phase 2, getting awareness, attention for the things that you are doing. Our spiritual tourism work was noticed by the Dutch TV channel KRO NCRV, and they made a documentary with 15 episodes, that's a lot, on our Camino and on our spiritual work, tourism work, and it's called My Pilgrim's Path. So 15 episodes, you can watch them. Then we did some advertising, Google AdWords, Facebook, Instagram, search engine optimization, and PR and earned media. And our work really was noticed. We were in all over the country, got attention for our spiritual tourism work. Then the phase 3 consideration of people consider visiting your region because they have heard of your spiritual tourism activities. You have, of course, need to have your information available. So we developed a landing page on visitsoutlimburg.nl. We created dynamic content where the spiritual offer is highlighted. We had some locals on our website who tell stories about our spiritual heritage. We created a special tag, a separate tag for our religious part in to-do sections on our website, and social media posts. You can all watch it, the link is there. Yes, you see some parts of our website where people can scroll and discover and watch and listen. Then in this phase of consideration, we also developed blogs and vlogs, especially developed for the target group of the millennials who love to walk and discover spiritual South Limburg. You can watch some blogs, and here you see some two young bloggers who discover our road crosses and tell about it. Then phase 4, once people are interested to visit our spiritual offer, it's important that they can book it. And that was quite a challenge because not every church and everything is bookable online. So we put it into Tickly, which is our ticket shop, online ticket shop. And we made many of these activities bookable over our online ticket system. And we hoped by this also to realize overnights in our abbeys and accommodations close to the spiritual places. Here you see you can book a visit to the Rolduc Abbey with a guide, a local guide. Then phase 5, when they are in South Limburg, their journey starts, and we have our South Limburg experiences that are our tourist offices. And we develop them into locations where our guests find mostly inspiration, because real info data they have already over website or mobile. So we try to inspire them about things to see and visit in South Limburg with a shop, a ticket sale, thematic routes. And spiritual awakening is especially highlighted in those experiences. Here you see the experience of Valkenburg, in which we also have an augmented, if not a room where people can watch over virtual reality the story of South Limburg as source of Europe, in which spiritual awakening is a part of the movie of 15 minutes of our region. And then the phase 6 recommendation, once the guests are in our region, we hope they recommend that they post pictures, stories, that they tell others over social media how they like it. So we try to stimulate our guests that they share their experiences. We have a whole program for that, for example, for honoring their posts and pictures. You see one on the side. We do press monitoring. We are creating ambassadors who tell their stories, which we heard today before. And we have online newsletters on our spiritual awakening team. And then finally concluding, South Limburg, a spiritual awakening became awarded. In October 2018, our project was honored with the second prize in the competition for the European Cultural Tourism Award in the category Religious and Pilgrimage, of which we are very proud. And honestly, we wouldn't have achieved the above without the support of the COSME project, Spirit Youth, and the EU. So we are very grateful. Actually, the real thing happened after Spirit Youth. We were so inspired that it really gave us new wings to continue on this path. I thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Anya. We're going to go quickly to the first region who asked us if they could have a very short presentation of their good practices, but we are going, of course, to have questions after that. Elena, are you here?
Yes, do you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for this only 2 minutes. It's like a chip in a poker game, but I just want to testify that as a Regione Liguria, we are very active in all issues realized by Nextur, and especially I listen with a lot of attention to the presentations before me, and I think this CHARM project is quite interesting, even if it is a small net, but it can be wider, and we can be interested in joining with 1 or 2 or 3 small villages. Going to our situation in Liguria, as you see, Regione Liguria is on the sea, so we have both villages on the sea and villages in the inside the park. We worked generally with wider net together with other Italian regions and developing big projects related to the promotion and first the construction of the product related to the villages and then the promotion of the net. The map you see is realized inside within a project called Borghi Viaggio Italiano, which was joined by a lot of regions, not all 20 regions, but more than 10 regions in Italy, and focused the attention on the specific particularity of all villages, both on the sea for what concerns Liguria and in the inside part, and focused also on the issues that these villages can offer. I mean, not only beauty and landscapes, but also food and culture and of course the friendship of the people. What you see, it's a website, it's indicated, but it's also realized as a touch wall, a big one that people can touch and see inside each location what are the main issues to be offered. Naturally, this project was developed with a physical promotion before the COVID, and of course we are now focusing on different ways of promotion, which includes more or less all the issues that you have presented before. I mean, we will have together with other regions and in this project a promotion for ENIT, which is the National Tourist Board of Italy, the televisions, the papers, and also an action. I didn't think I get it in the previous presentations, an action directly to schools, like a digital prize or anyway participation of students focused on tourism schools, higher schools, of course, from beginning from 14 years old on. And it's quite interesting because we are going to involve all students from this school to know if they have the knowledges of what the territories can offer. Can go please to the second slide. I will be very short because I have to go to another meeting, unfortunately. So if you can see our topics to our villages are, as I said, hinterland and sea villages, but the driver is the sustainable tourism. And this is why we are also interested in this CHARM project. Because it has all the elements to involve also local stakeholders and to offer real experiences for traveler. we, as a region, we promoted our villages, except from this project I explained before, on our website, which is La Mia Liguria, which is also an hashtag, and so we use also in the social campaigns, and also realized a website together with the Agency for Tourism, which is called Experience Liguria, and promote the possibility of direct participation in experiences to be realized in the interland villages. In the next and last slide, you can see how many certified villages we have. Divided into Borghi Più Belli d'Italia, which is a certification, Bandiera Arancione, it's another certification from Touring Club Italiano, and Borghi Storici Marinari, who are the villages on the sea. And then we have also another certification in Borghi Autentici. I also presented this certification in other occasions before. It's something in which, as a region, we strongly believe, and also we think that it's helpful for the municipalities to get into a path which take them to this certification, which is a touristic level certification. I thank you for attention. I beg your pardon, but as I said before, Elena, I have to leave. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Thank you. Ciao.
Ciao. So we had good practices from the Netherlands and from Liguria. I don't see any other questions apart from a very nice message from Alan Vela, the EASME project advisor to spirit use and the afterlife of the spirit use project. So we can jump right away to the next part, where I'm going to share two short videos so we can all take a short breath. And I'm going to start in Catalonia again.
Taüll, un poble amb encant de Catalunya, dins del municipi de la Vall de Boí, un municipi amb molta activitat turística. Un d'ells, i potser els més important, el Parc Nacional d'Aigüestortes i Estany de Sant Maurici.
Gaudim de molt poca contaminació lumínica.
I també un conjunt romànic patrimoni de la humanitat. Una bona gastronomia, basada sobretot en carns ecològiques. Encantats de rebre-us a Taüll.
Hopla. And then after Taüll, we are going to Finland again. We are traveling very fast today.
Welcome to Oravi village. We are situated in Lake Saimaa area and we are surrounded by beautiful nature. I like living in this village because it's very safe here. Oravi is the perfect starting place for a kayak adventure. Bienvenue à Oravi.
Well, isn't it something? So we are going to the third part of the webinar, and we are going to start with the commercialization plan of the future of charm with two partners of the charm partnership, and we are going to start with Gemma Belmonte from Turismo Vivencial. Hola, Gemma.
Thanks, Thomas. Good morning from Catalonia, Spain. Then
we can hear you and.
Can you see it?
Yes.
Yes, perfect. So first of all, I'm very pleased to introduce you the commercialization of the charm products. We are Turismo Vivencial, one of the partners of the charm project. We are a tour operator, DMC, based in Catalonia, Spain, and we operate in all Europe and Latin America. Our mission in charm has been and will be to create and commercialize sustainable, and unique experiences. Experiences always created with a strong connection with the charming villages and all the stakeholders involved in the products, who are our clients, the individual traveler, and more than 9,000 travel agencies selling our products. Which is the Charm Products Quarry? We have created more than 70 tailor-made, unique, authentic, and unforgettable experiences in 10 charming villages, placed in rural areas, magical and singular villages with charm. We have created these products thanks to the enthusiasm and the work of all the villages and the stakeholders, and also thanks to the help of the other partners of the Charm project. And which are the Charm products' main goal? For us, we want to involve the visitor to the daily life of the destination and participate in their way of life and traditions. Charm Products offers diverse, sustainable, and memorable tourist experiences. Our guest is our traveler, who will always be accompanied by the best local host. Who are the local hosts for the Charm project? The stakeholders involved in the products, people behind their companies, hotels, nature activities, gastronomy workshops, artisans, people who tell histories, people who make the visitor feel like a significant protagonist and live an authentic trip experiences. The Charm products inspire the travelers to fill their suitcase with memorable memories to tell to their families and friends. So this is the power of the storytelling in tourist experiences. Charm products, products with soul. And we have created a total of 20 products with an overnight stay, 10 of one night and 10 of 2 nights staying. 56 activities, activities related with culture and heritage, nature, active tourism, and a really special interest products with charm. And now we need to imagine. Imagine to experience a nature workshop in Burgenland, Belgium. Imagine how to make the best pizza and arancini in Cunziria, Italy. Imagine to learn to make your own wine in Montserrat, Portugal. Imagine to learn the old tradition of making bread and sweets in Sortela, Portugal. Imagine to experience a nature bath in Rupit, Catalonia, Spain. Imagine to enjoy a cheese workshop in Taul, Catalonia, Spain. Imagine how to discover your inner artist as an urban sketcher in Friedrichstadt, Germany. Imagine to go underground in an historic mine in Siphon, Germany. Imagine to live an authentic sound experience in Oravi, Finland. Imagine a guided fishing trip in Matildedal, Finland. Stop imagine. We are here. Charm is here. Live it. That's the message that we have to send to our travelers and the other travel agencies. The Charm target markets is all the Europe, UK, USA, Canada, and Asia. This is the markets we want to reach with our commercialization. We will attract these tourist markets to our charming villages through our commercialization channels. B2B and B2C. So B2B, we want to attract the traveler with our unique and singular products to sell directly to them. This is the power to have the B2C channel and the B2B channel, who is going to explain my colleague Luis from Travel for Experiences, the other DMC involved on the Charm project. So please, Thomas, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Well, the floor is Luis, to
Luis,
be honest.
Yes.
Are you ready, Luis?
Yeah.
Well, you can go. So after the B2B part, we're going to the B2C.
Yeah, you can see my screen now?
We can see your screen and you can hear your voice.
Okay, thank you. My name is Luis Campos, and I work for Travel for Experience. And at Travel for Experience, we create unique journeys with careful narrative developed through authentic and immersive experience, guided by a true local host. We are always looking for new experience that can provide an authentic experience and connection with the site. We have clients of different dimensions, in several countries, in 4 continents. Well, right now you are a little bit tired, but I really would love to have your attention for a few minutes. You see, until now we talked for quite some time about B2C, but to make this journey, to affirm the network of Charm Village, we need to keep in mind the critical role of a second leg that will bring balance to the development of this village. This second leg, the B2B channel, opens the door to other types of clients, such as group travels, individual travels who prefer a tailor-made service, incentive travel for small groups, in between others. To reach these travelers, we have to reach these market operators, such as tour operators and travel agencies. And having in mind the reality of each village, we can propose differentiate and unique service. In reality, the experiential potential of the village is much higher than what we are proposing in the B2C channel. There are many experiences that are economically viable to propose for individuals, but are very interesting for groups. For example, there is a village where it is possible to make a boat trip on the lake. For a group, we can propose an exclusive tour with a picnic on a island in the middle of the lake and have a typical singing group from the region. It is a completely different experience, much more immersive and unforgettable, as you can imagine. But this is what these companies are looking for, out-of-the-box experience. Also, they want differentiation from service provided B2C. And they want tailor-made service. They want more flexibility to match to their requests, and more complex and extensive products that integrate other areas and resorts, which might involve, for example, an airport transfer and another cities. And also a higher level of service standard, and that is good. However, to sell and deliver this service, we are going to have some challenge. Well, due to the fact that the universe of tour operators and travel agents is complex, with very different characteristics according to the market and type of client they work with. And on the other side, we have the village. 2 different worlds, as you can see. We need something that can facilitate the empowerment of the village within that complex universe. For that, we need to build a bridge. I will call this bridge Charm DRC. This bridge must be based on 2 pillars. One on the right side is a pillar based on the knowledge of the village, the knowledge of the heritage and its experiential potential, the local suppliers, and in the cooperation with the village and the DMOs. And the other side, we have another pillar, the pillar of the knowledge of the markets, the knowledge of singularity of each operator, the contacts, the experience in dealing with the technical and logistic aspects of the B2B channels. It is on these 2 pillars of knowledge that we can effectively promote the village and their potential to these agents. And it is on this promotion that we will create the necessary awareness to get requests that allow us to design, propose, and deliver tailor-made service involving the local partners. The systematically and highly professional repetition of this process creates a cycle. As each time we design new products, we increase our knowledge of the territory and knowledge of our customers, which allow us to present more diverse, comprehensive, and attractive products. This cycle, if properly prepared, generates benefits such as the development of the local suppliers due to the demands and creativity to be introduced in the service, with the definitive advantage for the development of the territory. This development promotes the innovation of the service, many of which will be sold later on on the B2C channel. It increased the awareness of the village due to the promotion and the proposal design. It creates a greater connection of operates with village, make it easy to resell and to make cross-selling. And it makes possible to really design and implement the transnational routes. Well, at the core of this virtual cycle is the Charm DMC. And what is so special about it? Necessarily, it has to be well experienced and have a good portfolio of international contacts in various markets. But what is the difference from other DMCs? They believe and are engaged with shared values. They are focused in creating value for the village. And this is a fundamental change of paradigm. Generally, DMCs are not focused on generating value for the territory. They were born to solve a problem in the supply chain, that is to create value for the tour operator. And this is a major change. They know the charming village and their strength, and they are willing to develop a win-win relation with local stakeholders, helping them to be better prepared for international markets. This way, even in these dimensions, we are innovating at the Charm project. We are innovating through people. Many thanks for your attention. It was, for me, a real pleasure.
Thank you, Luis. It's perfect. I remind to people that if they want to ask questions about the commercialization plan of the future of the project, they can type the question in the chat and we will answer them after the next presenter, which is the last partner of the Charm partnership. It's Ulf Sontag from the Northern Institute of Tourism. I guess I never always remember the whole title, but it's we say NIT.
Yes, and you can say NIT. It's yeah, we're a tourism research institute and also working on tourism development with sustainable tourism in regions and destinations. And we are a proud member of Nextour, of course. And I think I'm the last official speaker. I hope you're not totally tired, because what I need to do is be a little bit inspirational now in the end, and also trying to sum up everything, because what I will show you is the state where we are right now towards the charming future and the future of charm. And to show you this, you will also see a couple of PowerPoint slides, and I have to make sure that I can also see my PowerPoint slides. So this is good. And show you basically the results of our approach in the consortium, and also together with the pilot villages to find our own identity. And this is very close to what Blanca said at the beginning, which is good, because it links to where we started, and it shows that where we started was a good start, and it shows that it still reflects on who we are. So Charm, first of all, is a network, and it's one network for all stakeholders interested in promoting village tourism, or let's say charming village tourism in Europe. But you saw, and with the website and with the products that Gemma and Luis just showed you, of course, we have something to offer, and we are a shop, and we want to be the one-stop shop for these charming village products in Europe. And behind all of this is, of course, this network that has to offer something. And this is what Gemma and Luis just showed you. It's about the products and it's about the experiences. So otherwise, we could be a nice network. We should have a shop. But if we don't have products and don't have these experiences, it doesn't work. And I think it already becomes quite obvious this only works in this network. So who is Charm is pretty much the situation right now. So we are the project partners, and for the future, the most important project partners will be the two DMCs, because as Luis has just showed you, they are really central as the bridge between demand and supply, between the customers and the products. It's of course the villages, because without the villages, this would not work. It's on the other side, it's the tour operators who might have their saying in the CHARM network if they want to, and it's other entities like regional authorities, it's providers for different solutions. So this is basically the kind of people that are part of the network. And when we think of the future governance, it's a little bit like this onion model. So we see the CHARM DMCs in the center, we see the other consortium partners around them, we see the pilot villages very close, and we see the rest also close and interlinked. But where we want to start for the future is actually in this inner core where we have the DMCs, the consortium partners, and the pilot villages. And we are right now in the process of collecting and finding ourselves in a memorandum of understanding where we show our commitment to each other and for the future. And in this future, we want to enlarge the network, of course. But first of all, we need to get a little bit more oriented how this next steps will look like. So for now and for the duration of the project, the final stage during the co-financing is this memorandum of understanding, which leads into the future and into the next steps. And in this memorandum of understanding, the central commitment is about 3 points. It's about the quality and the sustainability of the product. And we have heard in many of the interventions today that without the quality, it doesn't really work. So you need a high quality and a sustainable product. This is very much about cross-selling, because we could do this separately in our villages and go on with it as it was, but the promise and the belief that we have with CHARM is that it works better if we do it together. And that means also that we, maybe not me because I don't sell any products, but at least between the DMCs and the DMOs, it's more important that they not only sell their own products, but also sell the ones of the partners. And in the end, this involves a lot of cooperation, and to be visible, we also have to promote. So this is what it's all about. We've heard about the B2C approach and also the B2B, so how this is going to work. I don't need to elaborate, but also the CHARM network, of course, has to aim at the villages and the stakeholders in the villages themselves. So we have to keep motivating and inspiring the villages and the stakeholders who offer tourism experiences in the villages. And then we need to market the CHARM products, we need to run the network, and eventually we need to grow the network. So it is, I think, quite a challenging task, but what Anja told us, there is still, it really gave me hope and inspiration that this will not be the end, but maybe that really the best is yet to come, also with CHARM and with the network that we are having right now and that we want to sustain in the future and grow in the future. And we only can do this if it works. And if it works, it means we have to profit from the activities that we decide to do together. And this, I think, can only work if we put, I think you have seen what the CHARM DNA is. And with Nick, he was also often referring to this term DNA. So really, what is the core of it, and what are the values? What is the quality of our products? What is standards? What is brand? And I think we have delivered already quite a lot of thinking and also a lot of substance in this regard. So this is something strong we can build on. And also the other points, the technology we have heard and seen how this is working right now and what could be there in the future. We have heard about the need for promotion and for cross-selling to be visible in the market with the right segments, B2B and B2C. And of course, we need to cooperate. So I think this is all interlinked and one cannot really do with the other. But I think it's also clear that this that our DNA has to be in the center. And then it's you see these words and phrases, they come from an exercise we did based on this business model canvas model. So it's a little bit using this terminology. But with this, we were able to sort out quite well, I think, what we have and what we do. And so based on this model in the middle, we know we need to build this on the strong relationships that we have and that we need to improve and tighten. We have the assets which you've heard about, so everything we can offer, and we've also have the channels like the website and the apps and the different tools for promotion. So this is the plan to really, in the first stage of the future, make very good use of all that we have developed. Especially once that Europe is allowed to travel again, and looking forward to hopefully a successful summer holidays in 2021. Yeah, I think it's not self-fulfilling that this will work, and I think many EU projects have shown that often it doesn't work. But on the other hand, we also see with examples of Anja that these EU projects, these COSME projects in particular, like, they can be a stimulus, they can be an inspiration and an accelerator, and we hope for CHARM that the same will happen. And I'm quite optimistic because I think there is not so much actually extra that we need to do, because in all the villages, in all the DMCs, in all the companies that are involved in the CHARM network, all the organizations that are there, a lot of the work that we want to do in CHARM needs to be done anyways. But the question is, do we all want to do this alone for ourselves, or do we try to team up and do this together with a bigger impact and reaching a wider audience? And this is basically the vision that we have. And of course, there are eventually costs, but I think they will not be so high, and this is something that can be solved, but it isn't solved yet. But we are there on the way. And what's for sure is that we need volunteers, so the people who believe in CHARM and who want this to go on, because I think otherwise it will never happen. And if we have these people, we will also find the income. So in the end, I think it's really up to us to make CHARM work in the future and to flourish in the future. And I suggest let's just go for it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ulf. That was very good, as usual. I don't see any questions again, but if there is, please, people talk to us about them. We are a bit late, but not that much. We are like 10 minutes late, which is in the margin of acceptability for German railway, if I understand correctly. It's an inside joke, sorry. So if there is no question, we are going to go to Siphon, which is way more easier to say than Fredrikstad.
Siphon is a lovely old mining and wooden toy manufacturing village located in Saxony.
You're welcome. We love to have you here. So see you soon in Siphon.
And then last but not least, you will see why, it's Sorteia in Portugal. Hopla.
Encontramos-nos aqui no Largo do Pelourinho, o centro mais importante da vila de Sorteia.
visitem a aldeia histórica de Sortelha, venham conhecer o Carriço e venham passear com ele pelas bonitas ruas da nossa aldeia.
Deixo o convite às pessoas que queiram visitar Sortelha.
Thank you. Wait, I think I stopped the recording. No, it's good. Okay, everyone is okay. We are at the last session of today. We saw all the video for all the villages, but they are available on the Charming Villages YouTube channel that I'm going to paste in the chat right now. It's a very interactive meeting. So now we go to the last but not least again session of the day with the coordinator of the project CHARM, Blanca Cross from ACT, which is the Agencia Catalana de Turisme. I think I mixed 3 languages saying that, and with Bea Nubiola, also from the Catalan Tourism Board. You can go.
Thank you, Thomas. Well, as you can imagine, we feel very proud of the CHARM outcomes and the achievements, the goals we have reached, and all the people involved in this project. From the Catalan Tourist Board, it has been very gratifying to coordinate this project that is now ending its European funding phase. As coordinator, I'm satisfied with the work done and the outcomes achieved, although the time has not been the most suitable, but we have been able to adapt and to be resilient. CHARM partners have had the willingness and interest to continue betting for European charming villages. From my side, I now hand it over to the team of the Catalan Tourist Board, who deal with marketing and who are the ones who will be in charge of promoting the European network of charming villages. I give the floor to Bea Nubiola as representative of the Catalan Tourist Board team. Bea, please.
Thank you, Blanca. Well, for us, it is a satisfaction to start positioning Catalan charming villages in a European context. For those who don't know, from the Catalan Tourist Board, we run a network of charming villages, and we are completely in line with the European perspective, taking into account the need to work together for a better cooperation and exchange of best practices around Europe, and the great opportunity of cross-marketing and cross-selling thinking in long-haul markets, but even for close European markets. So we firmly believe in the communicative strength and commercial potential of the CHARM network. That is the reason why we will continue working to enlarge and make the tourist proposal linked to a sustainable rural tourism well known. And now we ask the other partners, our one colleagues in this project, to start a quick round to give us their feelings as a final statements. Please, Thomas, the floor is yours now, again.
Well, thank you very much. It's been a real pleasure to moderate this conference. I want to thank you, my team in Nextour, my colleagues, Sandra Depulj, Cristina Nunez, Eric Ricardo, and Tomato Comazzi, who helped me a lot doing everything. What I want to say is like we want to invite all interested regions to join the future network. So that way we have been collecting letters of interest from Nextour regions, but also for external regions. It's very simple letters. It's non-binding. We have a template. We can send it to you. You send it back to us with nice signatures, and it's simple as that. And with this, you're gonna have the golden ticket to be invited to the second phase of CHARM. With this, and if you are willing to sponsor one of your village, for example, to join the CHARM transnational routes into more countries, more counties, more regions of Europe. And if you are going to connect to ITB, please book a meeting with us. We can talk about that in larger disposition. Thank you. And we can go to Gemma if we want.
So Turismo Vivencial team is very grateful to be part of this really great, charming team. And the only we can say is that we came to stay. So we will be close to the charming villages and the stakeholders to promote and commercialize the charming products, adding value and new product proposals, and always to generate unique experiences for our travel. So we go ahead, we keep going. Thank you.
A roundtable is normally based on voluntary burst out, but we can go to Ulf if we want. It's just the order I have on my paper.
Okay. Now, for me, it's also it has been really great with you guys to run this project, and yeah, it's really a shame we ran into this pandemic, but I think the great teamwork you always see in times of crisis. So I think we really did all the time the best we could. And I think in the end, when we see everything that we saw today, yeah, I think it's really a reason to be proud. Sometimes you say you shouldn't be proud. It's not a good feeling, but I think in this regard we can be proud, and I think it's quite impressive what we have achieved. Also, thanks to the villages, because they actually they were not really official partners, but just our pilots, where we had that we had to win to try out our ideas, and it's also great to see them today participating and also being eager to discuss for the future and to shape this future. So for me, I just hope, I'm very optimistic that this is not the end, but that the best is yet to come, and let's go for this future together. Thank you.
Thank you, Ulf, and of course, thank you to all the villages who and the DMOs in the villages who were very helpful with their knowledge of the local tourism. Next, we can go to Fox Guide Tour.
This project has been a very good example how rural areas can be vibrant and pioneers in the introduction of new technologies by focusing to understand the customer behavior and offering easy to love and buy and share products. So it has been really a pleasure to be part of this partnership.
Thank you, Tatu. Luis, I saw you open your microphone.
Yes, I have great pleasure to participate in this project with everyone, and it was somehow a camino we built together, and was very interesting because we have to make some choices during the path. We are really happy with what we achieved during this camino, but we need to have in mind that we have a long road ahead of us, and it is very important to have this in mind. This is an old African saying that I like very much. It says, you probably know, that is, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go as a group. I think this could be something to remind us this moment, and we need to be a bigger group. This implies, in my point of view, keeping us focused on our dream and our values, respect and valuing our difference, because the power of the Charm Village is the differences, and understanding this path should be made step by step in order to keep us all together. This is my thoughts.
Thank you, Luis. And now we are going to Federica or Marco, but yes. I think it's Federica.
I will talk for Swing It. And so Swing It wants to help the charm villages, also all the villages that want to enter in this route, and the stakeholders to enable this wow effect through the innovative ICT. And we are strongly committed to support the future tourism services.
Thank you, Federica. And I think we can conclude this meeting with Patrick Torrent, the Executive Director of the Catalan Tourist Board, the Executive Director, because I got scolded because it's not the same thing as a director, and the President of the of Nextour, the Network of European Regions for Sustainable and Competitive Tourism. The floor is yours, Patrick.
Thank you, Thomas. Thank you all the speakers for your inspiring presentations and all the 120 participants in the peak of this session for your rich contributions and active debates. We are delighted to see that this final conference is another step into building a rural villages network that will support the values and objectives of the CHARM project. From Nextour, our role in projects is to ensure broader territorial connection. And now that CHARM is ending, we will be working in its sustainability and replicability through our knowledge and projects hub, also capitalizing the lessons learned and needs of CHARM villages to the European arena. And believe me, we are becoming a reference. The UNWTO Rural Tourism Report 2019 includes reference of the CHARM work, which we Nextour managed to position in its important policy paper, but also gathering commitment of our regions to replicate methodology, as we have been doing with other EU projects where we participated. But how can we ensure the continuity of CHARM? Well, the Commission's program 2021 is indicated that the European Commission will come up with long-term vision for rural areas. Demographic and socioeconomic changes produced by this pandemic, non-crowded areas, appetite for nature and genuine hubs to attract talent, the emergence of a new segment of visitors, the digital nomads, who offer an excellent opportunity to destinations like charming villages that can offer pleasant workation experiences. Rural tourism, more and more popular, is a trend, so it's important to properly plan and take advantage of already good practices and guidelines such as the Barcelona Declaration based Better Places to Live, Better Places to Visit, and the EU Recovery Plan, strategies and financial instruments where rural tourism finds a clear place, the greening and the digital with the socio-cultural to bring economic prosperity. We hope that the workshop has been fruitful, as fruitful for the participants as for the partners. Thank Thomas for your moderation, and Nextour and all the team of Nextour for all the effort. And a special thanks to the Catalan Tourist Board, Blanca, Bea, and team, and to all the partners, and to all the organizations supporting the project through its life cycle, which we wish to continue. Let me finally invite the regions to support the CHARM initiatives and values in your destinations. Like Ulf said, it's not the end. This is the beginning. And like Luis said, if we want to go fast, we could go alone. But if we want to go far, we must go together. We wish long life to the CHARM spirit. Thank you very much and take care. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you very much. And I remind that we will send an email with all the presentation, the recording, availability, and all other information, and including a survey next. I don't know exactly when, but very soon. Thank you.
Thanks, Thomas.
Ciao.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks.
Bye. Thank you. And Thomas, right on time. It's 12:47, like as in your plan.
It's amazing.
So it's better than German railways.
Thank you very much. It's like Japanese railway.
It's Japanese railways. Yes.
Okay.
So, bye-bye.
Bye. See you later.
See you later.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, I'm finishing the meeting.